Broadcasting from the world-famous LWDL studio, this is Life with Dan and Lewis. I'm Dan.
And I'm Lewis.
And we're here to talk about life and all the wonderful, magical, horrible, awful, fantastic stuff inside that four-letter word.
Life.
Before we get too far in, if you hear anything you like today, feel free to go over to buymeacoffee.com/LWDL. Your support is greatly appreciated for this little adventure we are on.
Thank you for all your support.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you also.
How was your week?
It started off good, but the last 2 days were freaking crazy.
Okay.
Work-wise.
All right.
Yesterday, I had 5 people come to court. All had warrants, and they all flipped out when they discovered that they had warrants. And 4 of them warrants got recalled. The last one, the guy, his warrant didn't get recalled because he had a felony warrant, and he was remanded without bond on that one. And then he proceeds to he pretty much start crying because he's going to jail. And he was begging the judge to recall the warrant on the misdemeanor. And she was trying to get him to understand.
Doesn't matter.
If we recall the warrant, you're not going to get credit while you're in jail for the felony. And his attorney, kind of really didn't. He said, "Oh, I'm going to go talk to the felony judge." And then kind of did in a very
kind of left
nonchalant, I really don't care about you right now type of way. So I got the person still in jail. Well, so that was crazy.
Ultimately, there's no excuse for not knowing you didn't have a warrant. And in most cases, there's no excuse for getting the warrant. So
yeah. And
low level of sympathy.
Very much so. And then today, as well, I'm not going to be in the office on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week due to a conference. I had a whole bunch of pleas set out today. If everything had went as planned, I would have cleared 26 cases.
But
something happened with the internet service at Bexar County, and it just completely shut down. All my jail inmates was logged off of Zoom. I got logged off of Zoom. I actually have to turn the hotspot on my phone in order to use my work computer.
Turn the hotspot on at the jail.
Right. I have to do that in order to, use my computer. Then I had to log into Global Protect to use my Mocha. And I tried to update a case and I hit enter. 5 minutes later, then it updated.
Yeah, there were other issues with the mainframe too today.
Yeah. So I'm just
there's multiple issues going on today. So I don't know what happened. I didn't see any kind of report of what happened. I just know that it started with the internet going down, and then they're like, "Oh, it's back up," and everyone's like, "No, everything else is broken too."
Yeah,
and it was a bit of a scramble for a lot of teams today.
So for me, I just got so frustrated and annoyed. I after my docket was over with, I shut my computer down and I left my office. Went to go have lunch with Larry. And then I came back and everything seemed to be working fine. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll continue with work from now.
So still, you dn't get to dispose all your jail cases.
Yeah, I didn't. I was trying to do it. So my jail cases, some of them were set on the Tuesday jail docket, but we get better credit for it if we take care of them in court rather than in jail court. It's like a in court.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get that credit for, my court of taking care of jail cases in the court instead of sending them to jail court. But I mean, screw it. Whatever.
So are they going to go to jail court on Tuesday then?
Yes. Majority of them are going to go to jail court on Tuesday. And then some of them will wait until I get back and then just be disposed of in court.
Right.
So either way, they'll be taken care of. But,
Yeah, just kind of a crummy end of the week.
It definitely was.
Just threw you off, yeah.
I was super excited because the last time I got a high number of cases moved, I think it was 32 or something. And this one was going to be 26. This includes pleas plus dismissals. One lady had 9 cases. She was going to plead on 5, TIC the rest, in which happened some of them.
9 misdemeanors?
9 misdemeanors, 1 felony, and she was going to plead on 5. They're going to TIC the felony plus her other 4 misdemeanors.
Wow.
So
it's a good plea.
It was coming out of Sarah's court, the felony. And so I was trying to coordinate it with her and along with me because they've been PICU or pretrial has been bugging Sarah's judge to sign a PR bond to get her out. But even if they do sign a PR bond on the felony, I told my judge not to sign the ones on the misdemeanors because we need to get, my thing is she's going to get released. And they were never going to see her again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured that it'll be better if we just keep her in jail. I mean, Tuesday's right around the corner.
Especially if there's a plea sitting out there, and literally you can take care of him in a couple of days.
Exactly. She had 175 days today. So, I mean, she'll be maxed out by the time she comes to court. But still, but for the felony plea, she has to be on 11 months probation. So, I mean, one of the cases should be on probation for 11 months.
Right.
So, but nonetheless, everything else worked out.
Yeah.
I stayed a little bit behind today, get stuff ready for mental health court docket on Monday, and just clean up some stuff around the office, made some copies of some plea paperwork, and just kind of like organize the area where I have all my plea paperwork and stuff. And I had about 35 emails, got them all the way down to 5. And the 5 that are there, just like stuff I have to do when I get back. So I think it was a pretty productive end to the work week.
5 emails?
Yeah.
I can't even remember when my inbox was in the single digits. I think right now I'm sitting at like 450.
Wow.
And those are unread ones that like I'm supposed to go back and take action on.
Oh. Yeah, I start kicking myself when I have 100 or more unread emails that I know I need to start working on. So since I didn't have my motion setting for this afternoon got dismissed, so I had all this free time. I didn't have to worry about creating dockets for next week because I was out. So I just used all this free time. I got all my emails done. Every little task that I said I need to do this, I need to do this, and I just kept putting off. I took care of it today. So that way when I come back on Thursday, everything just runs smoothly.
Right. Wow.
What about your week? How was your week?
Yeah, it was good. I got a lot done. One of the offices that I work with, we have these about 100 outstanding items that we're working on. And all week I probably spent, I don't even know, 10, 12 hours working on this one document that's going to knock out like 40 of the items. And I'm almost done. I'm probably 1 hour away from finishing.
Nice.
So I might try to finish it up over the weekend, if not first thing Monday. That's going to take a huge chunk of that outstanding workload off. So yeah, I was busy. That was a very detailed answer for your question. How's my week? Yeah, it was very busy, but productive.
That's good.
And I'm trying to get, more of like the business analyst, like nitty gritty tasks that I have to get done. Like the information's in my head. So that I can focus more on some bigger like project management tasks and parts of the project instead of having to be so far down in the weeds working on stuff.
That's
not
good.
that I can't do that, but I have skills that are directed at the things that aren't so far down in the weeds. So
yeah,
I might as well apply myself to where I'm most needed, which is not necessarily doing, step-by-step business procedures, but I know the information. So just got to get out of my head, move on and get done with it. So yeah, everything's good. And some of the side gigs are going good. Bowling was very good. It was fun. We talked about it a little bit last week. Bowling. I have 13 teams and they're all at one time slot this season. Normally we have 2 time slots, so you have 7 to 10 teams in each time slot. But this is the first time I've had all my teams in one time slot, and it was crazy the first week. Just the people that, questions. And the craziest part was the crowd around the bar. It made it very difficult for me to even walk from end to end. Plus people getting drink. It was a lot. But this week they had an extra bartender, so that made things a lot easier. And
nice.
It just worked out a lot better. And I think people are starting to enjoy having like that many people around. It's just fun to be in a big crowd like that.
You would think that, I would gather that if the bowling alley, when they know that these teams are coming or they're about to start, they would just automatically just have 2 bartenders.
You would think it's every time we show up the first week, it's like it's a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that. Like
it's kind of crazy.
This season, the first week, like I got there and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's tonight," and like we're still entering our people in on the screen. And like and I got there so we started at 7, so I got there at like 6:15 the first week, and they were just starting to enter the names and teams in, and some of the teams didn't start bowling until 7:15 because it took them that long to get all the names
Wow.
in. So they were delayed, 15 minutes from starting, trying to get the names in. This week they had all the names and everything in. Oh, and then they had one bartender and like no extra people around. Like the dude that was supposed to be like bussing tables and stuff was like trying to help the bartender. Like it was crazy. And this week they had 2 real bartenders and then the manager was helping out at that initial rush.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, they're figuring it out. But like you're saying, like they know.
Yeah.
They just don't plan.
No. I mean, which could be bad for business on their part because like what if the league decides like, okay, well, we're not going to partner with your,
Yeah.
It
would have to get pretty bad. I think it did come close a few seasons ago. We had a lot of problems, but it's gotten better recently. I think the biggest thing that it affected really is I think the bar could have made more money that first night if they would have been able to get drinks out quicker. But they got so bogged down that I bet you people didn't get more drinks because the line was too big or they just physically ran out of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of stuff, and it annoys me, but I think it's getting better each week, and it's fun. It was a lot of fun. Our team got a win.
Nice.
Because we weren't bowling against anyone.
Oh.
Yeah, it's always nice when my team gets one guaranteed win when we have a bye team against us. We're not the greatest, but we have fun. We have a new guy too showed up, and he was a lot of fun too.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was good. My whole week was good, and then I ran some errands today. Worked late a couple nights this week. Flexed a couple hours around to run some errands. I was able to get my taxes signed, and yes, where it's almost August now, and I'm just getting my taxes signed that were due back in April. Had an extension and everything. So got those signed. Refund should be coming soon, and it's a nice refund truck this year because I got solar panels installed in the house last year, so get a big old solar credit. I think my refund. I think the difference between what I paid the feds and what I'm getting back is like a few $100.
Okay.
Because there's a huge credit for the solar panels.
Nice.
So, in what I will have paid in taxes in 2022 at the end of this whole thing is like $400.
Nice.
Which is like, nothing really.
Correct.
So it's kind of crazy. Everything I paid is coming back to me. So it's like almost having a tax-free year.
Nice.
Kind of. Granted, I did spend a lot of money on the solar panels. So long story short is I'm waiting for that refund to come back. I'll be happy with that. Do some good work with that money.
There you go.
And what else did I do? Oh, I got some groceries, and I love shopping for groceries in the middle of the day. Just so much.
Nobody's there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You just out there shopping with a whole bunch of old people.
Even that, like, there just wasn't very many people around. It was nice. I feel like I did something else first thing this morning, and now I cannot remember what the heck it was.
That happens.
Huh. Well, it doesn't matter. It must not have been that important. But yeah, it was a good week, and I have I have a call tomorrow morning for one of the side gigs, and then I got a golf lesson tomorrow afternoon.
Nice.
So that's shaping up to be a busy Saturday, and I'm going to do nothing Sunday.
In nice 106-degree weather.
Yeah, but the golf lesson's at Top Golf, so it's there's AC and fans, and you're under a shade, and so it shouldn't be. I'll still sweat like a pig, but it shouldn't be too bad.
Speaking of groceries, I met Alicia at the HEB by my house, Lincoln Heights, which is under remodel.
Yeah, and
this is pretty much my first time going to HEB on the safe side. I would say 6 months.
Wow.
I don't really go grocery shopping. Alicia does all of, and so, but I was looking at the outside facade. It turned out pretty good.
Yeah. It's going to be a big store when they're done.
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of stores on the side, was it Twin Liquors? That was on a corner store.
Yeah.
That moved further down in the shopping center, but a lot of stores on that side had to vacate. Mm-hmm. And the facade outside is looking
it's basically
nice.
going to be one of those corner stores now where the entrance is at the
end,
the corner.
Yeah.
And the store's going to open up like a baseball diamond.
Correct.
Instead of like a Walmart.
Correct. It's pretty nice. I'm just waiting to see how it looks once everything's done and everything.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I know it's going to be I can't imagine the logistics behind, because the store was oriented basically 45 degrees from what it's going to be oriented now.
Correct.
So it's going to be the whole store has to change on the inside.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just going to be crazy. Just the idea of basically you have to clear the whole thing out and then just start over and start, moving stuff around.
I noticed that they used to have short aisles going.
They had like 3 sets of short aisles.
Correct. Then you have this long aisle in the middle, and then you have more aisles in the back. So half the store is still the short aisles, then a long aisle in the middle, and then the other half of the store are just super long aisles.
Also, they started trying to rearrange a little bit.
Correct.
Okay.
I think they're still trying to figure everything out, because even with the longer aisles, I overheard like management, I guess like project managers or whatever, talking, and they're like, yeah, this is not working. And so and then where it is right now, when you come in through the door, there's a Florida shop, and then off to your right is like the bakery and stuff like that. So there talks about like moving that further back towards like where produce and stuff.
Well, that's sort of kind of where the entrance is going to be now, so it has to move something.
Yeah. So it's
which is kind of funny, because that part was remodeled not that long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. I always have a little bit of an interest in that. My very first career was in the grocery industry. So I've done store resets. I've never done like a remodel, like where you're changing the layout of a store. I've done resets, like where you clear aisles out, clean all the shelves down, maybe replace like dingy shelves and whatnot, and then reset the whole aisle. And you do it over like 5 nights in a row, and you can do the whole store. Yeah. I've never done like a reset. No, well, when I worked at Target, we did do a reset where we were redesigning the store. But at that point, I was working in security, so I wasn't doing any like the merchandising. I was redoing the security cameras, like how they needed to face and how they're going to cover aisles and stuff like that.
This would, I gather this would like cut down on if they have a lot of theft, because it's one way in, one way out.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing in the grocery industry, and if you'll notice, meat departments are always farthest from the front door for a variety of reasons, one of which is theft. Yeah. It limits push outs. That's a huge loss in the grocery industry, is when someone just loads a cart of meat up and just pushes out with it. Yeah. And you can easily get into the thousands of dollars of loss real quick. That and diapers. Huh. Yep.
Interesting.
And stores that sell vacuums. Vacuums are another really expensive item that people push out all the time. That's why you always see them spider wrapped with the security thing on them. Really easy push out item. Wow.
Things you learn from somebody who worked in retail. Yep. Nice.
Different life. Feels like it was a lifetime ago, and it was, well, it kind of was.
just a few years back down the road.
Yeah. It is crazy that I'm going to be hitting a decade of work in the courthouse here this year.
Yeah.
That means you're over a decade now.
Yeah, decade and 1 year, August 15th, 11 years. Yeah. And, looking back on it, it doesn't feel like it. Yeah. It's, when you look back on it, you can be like, yeah, you remember like your first day and everything that you did. It doesn't feel like it's been, a decade, but yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. Definitely is.
Yeah, so really, I guess I had a decade in retail and then a decade in the courts. Nice. That's kind of what it breaks down to. A little less than a decade in retail. But
almost 20 years of your life.
Yeah. Yep.
We should write a book about that.
Yeah, I could write a book about all the retail stories, man. Everyone should work retail at some point in their life, just so you respect what it takes to work in these stores that we take for granted. It's crazy.
I definitely concur.
Yeah. Just it'll
change your perspective a lot.
Yeah, and it will teach you customer service, whether you like it or not. It's going to teach you how to interact with people. Mm-hmm. And the retail world is definitely something that not a lot of people understand the complexities of, and how much goes into what we take for granted. Like there's logistics. The logistics behind getting that T-shirt from a place where it was made to your back is wild. And people just don't understand that.
Nope. They just look to go into the store, buy it, and then that's it. Like nobody looks beyond that.
Right.
So, and then to get upset when they don't have it in your size.
Right.
If you knew the backstory of how it has to get from A to Z, be a little bit more appreciative of everything.
Or like when you're at a certain store and you find like another branch of that store has the item that you need, you're like, why couldn't it be at this location? the implications behind how it could have gotten to your location instead of that one, like what it would have taken to stop it from going to store A and arriving at store B instead, you would never ever think that again. You'd be like, you forget it. I'm just going to go drive to the other store and get it. Yeah. Because it's not easy. If figuring out, 10 items go to this store, 8 go to this store, 5 go to this store, and the ratios and whatnot, all that logistics is just crazy for merchandising, let alone when you add in perishables for a grocery store. That changes everything so dramatically.
Yeah, it's just like the new Coke that came out. I found it at one Walmart, and then like every other store that I went to didn't have it.
Yeah, so then you wonder, okay, was that general manager preference? Is that, is it different merchandising partners? Is it, there's just there's so many layers to merchandising.
True.
And then you zoom out a little bit farther, or was it just supply? Like, Coke had, 10 units, and they're just going to pick 10 random stores that it goes to. You just don't know. You don't know how the whole thing started. That happens too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a kind of nerdy talk about logistics, but
another episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So it looks like, both of us had really good weeks and, everything. So that was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it's summer. So I feel like things are kind of, like settled in for right now. Like there's no change. It's just sort of like, it's going to be busy for a while, just like it's going to be hot for a while. And, we just got to get in there, get it done and move along.
Yeah. It seems like as temperatures are heating up, work life is just becoming like more steady and not too hectic or crazy.
Yeah. I'm very, very busy, but it's like, it's manageable now. And just we're on cruise control through the summer. That's sort of what it feels like. This is the place that we tell you about our sponsors, but we don't have any. Maybe you can help us. Life with Dan and Lewis is actively looking for new brands, podcasts, people, and companies to partner with. If you're interested, drop us a note at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
That's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
We'd like to hear from you. After all, we are doing this for your entertainment. Drop us a note and let us know where you're listening from. Or if you have any ideas for new segments, things you'd like us to stop doing, do more of, less of, or anything at all, email us at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
That's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
So in our second segment today, I pulled up an article. It's actually a message from the mayor of Pittsburgh about some happenings in that city, and then we're going to close out today with a round or two of Would You Rather.
Would you rather?
So we'll go serious, and then we'll go nice and fun to end the episode. So Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey issued a statement on gun violence. So I'm going to read through this, and you stop me when he went too far. Pittsburgh, I ask that you join me in praying for all those who have been impacted by the recent gun violence in our city, which once again is leaving multiple lives changed forever due to the inability to settle personal conflicts peacefully. All good so far?
Yeah.
We are seeing time and time again that the mixture of easy access to a gun and the inability to self-regulate emotional responses to conflict is leading to more gun violence and senseless loss of life. All right, I'll give him that paragraph. The city and our dedicated Pittsburgh Bureau of Police can't stop people from choosing this path. We had an abundance of officers in the South Side, and yet we weren't able to stop people from choosing guns over peaceful resolution. The issue isn't about the number of officers on our streets, but about the number of guns in our city. So that's hard stop there.
Yeah, definitely.
So he went, in the first paragraph, he says, this all is happening because of the inability to settle personal conflicts peacefully. That's what it is right there. It's a lack of respect. We've talked about this before, and he's emphasizing that. It's the inability to settle personal conflicts peacefully. That's what the problem is. Second paragraph, he throws in a little mixture of easy access to a gun. Okay, that is part of the problem without a doubt. But he hits the point home again with the inability to self-regulate emotional responses to conflict. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the problem is with the emotional response to conflict, not with guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. So he's mixing it enough there that it's like, okay, you know what, that makes sense. But then he goes on, the issue isn't about the number of officers on our streets, true, but about the number of guns in our city. No. The issue is about, and I'm going to quote him himself, the inability to settle personal conflicts peacefully and the inability to self-regulate emotional responses to conflict.
True. Because you can have a city and you can have 10 million guns on the street. If people learn how to respect one another, then there wouldn't be any gun violence.
Exactly. He goes on to say, we need to find ways to end arguments and conflict peacefully, and we need our leaders in D.C. to repeal the 2005 Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, which prevents cities like Pittsburgh from holding gun manufacturers accountable for the harm their products cause every day. Now he is completely off the rails. He has pulled the let's sue Ford for car accidents. That's what he just pulled.
It's, I think it's stupid because why should I sue Glock? Why should I sue Smith & Wesson? Why should I sue Heckler & Koch? Why should I sue any of the gun manufacturers for somebody buying a firearm and committing murder?
Not even buying a firearm.
Or obtaining one.
However they obtain it, it's not the manufacturer's responsibility to regulate the use of the item.
Correct.
Do we sue Ford every time there's a drunk driving accident?
No.
We've actually gone further. Do we sue Budweiser when there's a drunk driving accident?
Nope.
We do sue the bar if the bar knowingly overserved someone. The same way we would sue the owner of a gun that illegally transfers it to someone that should not possess a gun.
Correct. Or if there's a minor in the house that got a hold of that gun.
We'd go after the parents.
Correct.
The only thing that's sort of kind of close to this is the opioid lawsuits where we're going after the pharmaceutical companies. However, we're not going after them for manufacturing the product. We're going after them for their marketing of the product. So it's a little bit different. It'd be like if gun manufacturers were like, it's so easy to buy a gun. But gun manufacturers don't do that.
No.
In fact, gun manufacturers are proponents of gun laws that enable the safe transfer of guns and the safe registration of guns within the laws that exist.
Correct.
So some states have gun registration, some don't. Gun manufacturers really don't have a stake on that. I'm sure some of them would say that they're anti-registration just because it's easier to buy guns. They're going to sell more guns that way. But, and also manufacturers are looking to sell guns.
Yes.
So if someone obtains a gun illegally, the manufacturer is not in that equation.
No.
So they're not for that.
No.
Also, someone dying by gun violence is bad press. Let's remove the human situation of it and just look from a marketing standpoint. That's bad press. Mm-hmm. Gun manufacturers don't want bad press.
No.
So there's no motivation for them to be encouraged to participate in the illegal, harmful side of gun ownership.
Correct.
Ownership's not even the right way to say that. Of guns, period. Of guns. So I bring it back to we don't sue Ford every time there's a Ford in an accident.
People don't sue.
We don't sue Glock every time one of their guns is used in a shooting.
Do you sue cigarette companies because somebody gets cancer? I mean, there have been fights in that before, but I mean, at the same time, it's if you know this
again over the marketing of it to children, yes.
Yes.
Over the marketing of it to teens, yes. Over the marketing of it as a safer product, yes. But not over the manufacture of it.
Correct.
Because we have this thing called free will.
Yes.
So,
I mean, the same thing, like, if cigarettes cause cancer.
Sure.
Somebody goes out and buys cigarettes, they get cancer. I don't think they have granted, they do have a right to sue the manufacturing company.
But it's going to be a very weak lawsuit because right on the package it says.
Exactly.
These things are harmful.
You buy a gun, if you don't house that firearm properly,
yep,
and it gets into the wrong hands, you're responsible, not the gun manufacturer.
Correct.
And I mean, because I had a college roommate, my freshman year of college, he had a old-fashioned 9mm Beretta, like you used to see back in the day that police officers carry, and he just left it under his seat in his truck. And his brothers and sisters, which were a lot younger, knew where it was. None of them never touched it. But him putting the firearm under his seat, is it the gun manufacturer's fault if his 4-year-old sister picked it up and...
No, it's his fault.
Exactly.
Right.
So okay, mayor, right? Yeah, mayor. I get what you're saying, but it's not about how many police officers or how many guns are on your street. It's about maybe you should.
Yeah, this isn't an economics or a commerce or a manufacturing issue.
Maybe we should have more classes about
issue.
Teaching people, or maybe we should publicize or have different commercials about self-respect and respecting others.
Yeah, let's use his own phrases. Let's talk more. Let's promote more. Let's have classes for it. Let's have commercials for it. Let's slam it down people's throat. The ability to settle personal conflicts peacefully.
Yeah.
The ability to self-regulate emotional responses to conflict. Conflict resolution. Let's start pumping that down everyone's throats the same way we pump all these different products. I was about to name a bunch of products, but I don't want to get us in trouble. But the same way we pump other products, maybe some of the energy drinks or some of the female celebrity shapewear lingerie lines.
Yeah.
That we're all seeing advertisements for everywhere.
It would cost them. If the mayor of Pittsburgh really wants to do something, how about you start a campaign of airing like 10 to 15 seconds
public service announcements. Yeah. Public service announcements about conflict resolution.
And then you have a group of people of all races, of all genders, whatever you want to label you want to put on it, and just show them giving respect to one another. How about you blast that?
Yeah. Yep. Let's just finish out his statement here. As a city, we're committed to caring for all those who are harmed in the aftermath of these traumatic incidents. Last night, we had social workers and CVI. CVI. I don't know what CVI is. CVI outreach teams on scene to help those who need it, and they're continuing their work in that community today and in the days ahead. So this falls right in line with how we're emphasizing, mental health and therapy and all that kind of stuff. And especially in times of crisis, right? So you go through a tragic and a traumatic event, whether you are the one that was shot, or you just witnessed it, or you cared for the person that was, actively dying. Mm-hmm. Either way, you've gone through trauma, so we're getting you the help that you need. Cool. Perfectly on board with that. And he goes on to say, earlier today, our lifeguards who acted quickly in executing their emergency safety plans received trauma support to help them process through this tragedy, and we will continue to do what we can to support them and care for their psychological safety. Cool.
Yeah.
On board with it. Pittsburgh, it is time to unite as one community to end this pandemic of gun violence. Okay. It's going to take all of us working together. Yes. To learn how to settle conflict peacefully, yes. To provide resources and support services to all lives impacted by gun violence to heal these wounds caused by those who choose harm over life. Yes, agreed. So, and I didn't watch him say this, but here's what I feel from reading this. I feel that he is politicizing in this speech. I don't feel that he believes this is an issue about economics, manufacturing, and commerce. I believe that he feels that this is an issue about respect and, peaceful issue resolution and that kind of stuff. But because of who sponsors his campaigns, mm-hmm. who contributes to his campaign accounts, mm-hmm. who his political backers are, he has to say stuff about gun manufacturers.
Yeah. And that's what we talked about several episodes ago, maybe even last season, about a politician versus a statesman.
Yep.
A statesman is not controlled by the people who are putting money into his or her pocket. A statesman is about what's the right thing to do and the right thing to say.
Yep.
And a politician is just about, okay, you pay me the most and I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do.
And I think he is trying to walk this line as hard as he can.
Yeah.
Because the more powerful and impactful parts of this are the parts that we agree with, the parts that aren't about the gun manufacturers, the parts that are about the conflict.
Correct.
And he almost throws these lines in there as a necessity.
Yes.
And they're out of place, really, when you read this.
He needs to take all his bashing towards gun manufacturer, put it in one paragraph, and then come up with a resolution of what you're going to do from there.
Right.
If you're going to, I mean...
But I'm sure the speech writers that helped him with this, or his communications team, wanted him to pepper it in there more so it's less abrasive. You know, sort of like a shit sandwich, you know? You put the good, and you put the bad in the middle. This is sort of what they did here. They took those 3 points and they put them in between stuff that is universally agreeable.
I think he should have put the bad at the beginning.
And just moved through.
And then the famous 3-letter word that would have separated it all. But. And then be like, you know what? Here's a solution to the problem. Let's learn how to interact with one another with respect. And if there is some type of conflict and you don't know how to resolve that conflict between you and thy neighbor, well then let's go to somebody else, or have somebody step in between.
Yeah, maybe part of this program could be some kind of a community mediator. Yeah. You know, that's happened before, and I'd have to really dig this up, but it happened before in probably LA with gang violence. Mm-hmm. They started doing like liaisons that would like be like an in-between to try to lessen some gang violence.
I remember when I'll have to do research on this too, but piggybacking off of what you just said, when a city leader asked all the leaders of the gang members to sit down.
Same idea, yeah.
You know, sit down at a round table, like, you know, you guys all are working together for one goal, because everybody wants to control some type of territory. But do you really have to go out and murder like 15 people just to say that you're just badass?
And, you know, it goes back to the mafia. This is a very strange path to go down. But, you know, when the mafia wasn't warring, they had very clearly established lines of not only territory, but businesses, who was in charge of what. Yeah. And as long as everyone just did their thing, it was fine.
True.
So this is similar to that. We need to teach people how to communicate in those times instead of going to war right away.
I'm watching, it's The Godfather of Forrest Whitaker is the main character. It's in The Godfather of Harlem.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And like you said, all the mafia leaders knew this was my territory, this is your territory, but they're all able to sit down at the table and communicate with one another. Mm-hmm. When they had conflicts with one another, they went to the head guy. They call it the family. Mm-hmm. They had a meeting. They went to the head guy, and he worked everything out. Yeah. You know, it's just like, okay, well, you violated this, so this month or these 2 months, we're going to tax you 30% on whatever you make until you pay back your deed. Or, you know, if you happen to murder one of their lead people, then they have to murder one of your lead people. Mm-hmm. But somewhat of a peaceful resolution in that world, in that time.
Yeah, I guess it's more controlled. Yeah. But I guess, and maybe the mafia and all that's a kind of a bad example, because they, you know, killing and war was sort of their end resolution, and we're trying to get away from that here. But I guess what we're trying to emphasize is the communicative, compromising, open communication type.
And a way of showing respect to one another.
And, I'm going to use Mayor Gainey's words again here. You know, the ability to settle personal conflicts peacefully. Correct. That's what we need to teach people. And you know, however that needs to be done, that should be the focus, not focusing on how to restrict guns and sue gun manufacturers. Because another thing, and he doesn't go down that gun restriction path, but anyone that does go down that gun restriction path, you know, I say, okay, you know, let's make more laws. Just remember that criminals don't follow laws. No. So
you're making more laws for the people who already obey the law.
Right.
Which
isn't solving your problem.
No, it's not.
So, you know, let's just think about that when we're talking about, just overregulate it. Just make more laws. You know, outlaw guns. Oh yeah, because criminals follow laws so well. So they're just gonna walk their guns in and hand them in.
I mean, if you look at New York, it's illegal. So like us in Texas, we have a license to carry. Mm-hmm. In New York, you have very specific guidelines in order to be able to have a license to carry a gun. You have to be a business owner that transport at least, I think it's $30,000 in cash a day or something like that. But the laws are so strenuous that, you know, you get caught with a gun, it's 25 years for the gun and like 10 years for every bullet that's in the gun. You know, but who is that hurting? Because the criminals who use guns, 9 times out of 10, they don't get caught with the gun.
Right. And when they do, the crime that they committed is going to get them more. I mean, the gun is just adding on time.
Yeah. So if they already murdered somebody and they're going to jail for life, I mean,
the gun penalties don't matter to them.
No, it doesn't, because they already got what they want. Even if they do get caught with the firearm, what they achieved to do has already been taking place. So they don't care about.
It is rare to catch a criminal with a gun prior to a criminal act being committed.
Correct.
I mean, that's just dumb luck. You stumble on them in a traffic stop, that kind of stuff. And I guess in New York, they used to find them with stop and frisk, but that's illegal now too.
Yeah.
For good reason. But that's neither here nor there for this conversation. But yeah, some of the crazy gun laws, California restricting the size of a magazine. Colorado did that too recently. If it was purchased, prior to 2016, it's okay. But anything that was purchased 2016 or newer has to be 10 rounds or less, and so on and so forth. Criminals don't follow those rules. All you're doing is make it very difficult for me to own a gun that I want to own and that I am constitutionally, allowed to own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all I had to say about gun and stuff today. Let's play Would You Rather.
Let's move on to a lighter subject and let's play Would You Rather. We should have some intro music for Would You Rather.
Yeah, I'll find something.
There you go.
Yeah, you should host this section.
All right. Would you rather, ladies and gentlemen? Would you rather have $50 million to spend on yourself, by yourself, no friends, no family, or $5 a day, keep your friends and family, and live a happy life?
Yeah, I'm taking the $5 a day no matter what.
Yeah. I would concur and say the same thing. I would take the $5 a day simply for the fact of, you have $5 million. If you're a great budgeter, and can make that last a lifetime.
But what for?
Yeah.
Just so you can buy material stuff for yourself?
Exactly. It's just you're the last person in our group to get a new vehicle. Mm-hmm. And everybody was excited. Although it wasn't my car I drove home in, but it was yours. And because we're all close friends and family, we're all happy for you. Having $50 million and you going out buying a $2 million Ferrari, you have nobody to share that excitement, that joy with.
Right.
When you got a new house or when I moved into my new apartment, everybody came over, they're generally excited because we're progressing in life and we're doing something better. And I think that the friendship and familyship is not a word, but the friendship and, sharing things with your families and your loved ones is what actually,
makes it fun.
Yeah, is exactly. And has the excitement that comes along with it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, so I would definitely take the $5 a day over 50 mil.
Would you rather have skin that changes color based on your emotions, or have tattoos that change to reflect what you did yesterday? So the question is almost like, would you, because if your skin changes colors to show your emotion, you can't hide anything from what's going on currently. But if your tattoos change to show what you did yesterday, you can't hide what you did yesterday. So it's would I rather show my current state or my previous acts?
I'd rather show my current.
Yeah, I think so.
I say that simply for in a relationship wise.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'm told, oh, you have attitude, or you're upset, or you're mad.
Oh, it's they'd be able to see your true.
And I'm just no, I'm not. Just because I don't have a smile on my face.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just I'm fine.
Right.
And if I was actually upset or mad, then
they'd know.
You'll know.
That's interesting. So it would almost be like an instant lie detector.
Correct.
I like that.
Or if you have,
or instant honesty proof, I guess would be the other way.
Yeah. If you have a child or, a loved one or a friend or somebody that doesn't really talk a lot, doesn't really talk about their emotions and
stuff. You'd be able to tell if they were enjoying your conversation or whatever you're doing. Or
if you're just if you have a group of 5 friends that you guys are sitting around talking about, you can just oh, this person, we lost this person because they just don't care. They're happy and they're content in their state.
It'd be just another piece of information you could instantly get.
Yeah.
And there'd be no interpretation. Just instant.
Yeah.
I think the tattoos things would be interesting too, because you could just like look at someone, but tattoos you can cover. Like if your upper body was yesterday's journal,
then just cover it up.
I would never know. But if your skin was changing colors, I'd know.
True.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
I would still take the.
I think the color changing skin based on my emotion would be the way to go.
I think so too. I definitely would take that. Would you rather have unlimited battery life on all devices or free high-speed Wi-Fi everywhere you go? I think I would take the free high-speed Wi-Fi everywhere I go.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk myself into that, but I can't give up the unlimited battery life thing. Because I haven't been somewhere where the cell signal wasn't enough.
I have. About 6-7 years ago when I went to Louisiana for my grandmother's funeral.
Oh.
Inside her house, I got no reception. So when anybody wanted to text or call me I had to go into the middle of the street, and I was able to get a strong enough signal to send off a text or answer the phone.
All right.
So
that one incident was enough of an annoyance that even now you're thinking about it.
Yes.
Wow.
Because it was just like, a lot of friends, you guys, were like texting me, making sure I made it there safely.
So every couple of hours you have to go out in the middle of the street.
Yeah, and I was just
get
like,
all your messages.
So around about 7, like when the sun went down, I was just like, screw it, I'm just not going to text her. And there was one person who was texting me, and I was able to respond to the next day. And then I got like 5 missed call notifications from them. And then like when I actually talked to them, they're just like, oh my God, I was freaking out because I thought something happened. I was just like, no, I just don't get cell service.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just
all right. I get that.
I guess that was so traumatic for me that it just caused me to just want to have,
right.
Just that connection.
Right. Would you rather have a completely automated home or a completely self-driving car? Those are both really intriguing for me.
It is, but one sticks out more than the other for me.
Okay.
And mine would be the automated home.
Really?
I'm not at the point where I want the vehicle that I sit in to drive by itself, because I like to have that control and that power, and I like the speed, and sometimes.
Yeah, I guess I'm with you. Yeah. I was just thinking, both of these are utopian. So if it's the automated car, you can set the speed. It's always going to be safe, that kind of thing.
So you can go as you can set it to go as fast as you want, but the car will automatically just be safe no matter what. I would still go with the automated home.
So I'm thinking, okay, where do you spend the most time? And the most time you spend at home.
Yeah.
So, okay, what kind of automation are you talking about? I want my toilets to automatically clean themselves. I want my coffee to automatically make itself. I want, the oven to automatically preheat and set its timers, just based on what I'm cooking. It just knows. Everything just knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Lights come on automatically based on what I'm doing and where I'm walking in the house, all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to have to do it, right? It just is.
Exactly.
You just get it. The home just becomes that way. It's okay, cool.
It's almost like those automatic lights when you walk into the room, or
but on steroids, with a smart engine behind it.
Yeah.
And this is going way down a rabbit hole here, but this is where I think a smart language learning model like ChatGPT coupled with something like Alexa.
Oh.
That is where the smart home is going to go.
Yeah.
Because once she can start talking and understanding how language works, and that's the first step to understanding how to think and analyze what someone's doing and how you can get ahead of them.
Yeah.
Okay, he normally does this, and this, so I should be one step ahead so that everything's ready. The blinds are closed when the sun goes down. The blinds are closed when the sun goes down. The ceiling fan comes on before he goes to bed. Everything just starts stacking up.
Yeah, it's almost like for me, it'll read that my alarm goes off at 6.
Exactly.
I get up. My first thing I do, I get on my phone and I raise the temperature in the house.
Right.
And then I turn off the ceiling fan, turn off the fan, turn on the light, then start to get. So automatically the AC will automatically kick up.
Yep.
Or if it's cold, automatically drop to go to a higher temperature. The ceiling fan, the lights will automatically come on. TV will automatically come on to
the coffee pot will already kick on.
Exactly.
Making coffee. Yeah, the TV would change the right channels. Your phone would know what app you're going to use. Everything would just work.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're probably 5 years away from that. It's like technology is moving at incredible speeds.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to AI and a voice assistant. Once those two things can get plugged together, and then, there's some smart technology being built into everything now that uses a completely different protocol called Matter. Mm-hmm. And that is the secret. Once everything is speaking the same language, every light bulb, every plug, everything is speaking the same language. Automation's easy.
Yeah.
So we're within our lifetimes, we will see a fully automated home.
Definitely.
And we might see a fully automated car at some point. Elon's been saying it since 2013. So, I mean,
he must be working on something over there. All right. Would you never want to be in traffic or never get colds or sick again?
So I guess this depends on how we're going to define colds and sick again. If this is like all disease, I'm taking that one. If this is just like the common cold, like the flu and stuff, I'm probably taking traffic. Because really it's saying, would you rather be inconvenienced by the common cold or would you rather be inconvenienced by traffic?
Yeah.
And if all I got to do is just get the routine yearly colds and flus, I'm taking no traffic. However, if the never get sick again involves like, never get, cancer, heart disease, whatever. Not only am I taking that, but I'm taking that as I go to buy a carton of cigarettes because I can never get sick.
Damn.
So,
I didn't think about that. Wow.
So, it all comes down to semantics. How are we defining the never get sick thing?
So then you're just a cure of all. Oh shit! You can just go out there and just have unprotected sex with any
You can
and
go
everybody.
out there and eat a bag of sugar.
As a diabetic, I would no STDs. Diabetics will be perfectly fine with sugar.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about us. That I go to cigarettes, you went to sex before sugar. I don't know what that says about us.
Yeah, we have too much time to think.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, this really opens up your mind to a lot. And so if never never having colds or being sick again will include any terminal illness, so I would go with not being sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That basically gives you a guaranteed non-accident related lifespan of 90 years, right? Maybe
Pretty
even
much.
more, 100 years, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd definitely take that.
Definitely something that was interesting.
Yeah. But if it's just like the common cold and like yearly flus and that kind of stuff, nah, traffic is it.
Yeah.
No traffic for me ever again.
So for our listeners, when you guys take a listen to this, if you watch it on YouTube, please leave a comment down there. We sometimes we'll read them over
That's
the
true.
air.
Yeah.
Or any of our social media platforms. Leave us a comment of what you would rather have or do, and then we will read some of them over the air and in further episodes of where we play. What's this called?
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Anything coming up for you this week?
Well, this week we'll be traveling Sunday. We'll be traveling to Dallas, Texas for a 3-day coordinators conference. And then coming back we'll be back in San Antonio on Wednesday. It's over about noon on Wednesday, so we'll be traveling back and then finish out the work week with 2 days of court and see what the weekend holds.
That's not too bad at all. Nice little work vacation.
Yeah.
And then little work at home. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, nothing special this week. Just the regular work and bowling Wednesday night. I have a golf lesson Saturday.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. Taking a day of rest Sunday. Nothing going on there. I need to mow the grass at some point. If I feel like doing it Sunday morning, I will. If not, I'll get to it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nothing crazy going on for a little while here. It's just going to be, like we were saying earlier, cruise control for a couple months here and get through the heart of the summer.
Yeah.
And then some excitement coming up in September and October, but that's still a couple months away, so we won't even worry about that now.
Yeah. I definitely feel like in the earlier months, we're like more busier on our weekends because we talked about a lot. Now it's like, I agree. Just cruise control. Just, cruising and just keeping everything steady.
Exactly.
That's a wrap for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week.
Follow us on all the social medias. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Life with Dan and Lewis.
That's at Life with Dan and Lewis.
Video episodes are now available on YouTube, along with all our previous episodes in their audio-only formats on YouTube and wherever podcasts are found. Check them out. We hope to see you all there. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, check out our new limited series, The Spotlight. New episodes will be coming periodically between weekly episodes of Life with Dan and Lewis throughout this season. Thanks for listening today, and more episodes can be found anywhere podcasts are found on our YouTube page or on our website at lwdl.buzzsprout.com.
That's lwdl.buzzsprout.com.
Until next time, ask yourself, what have you done today to help someone else? Make good choices.
And love one another.